History of cars. The age of the pioneer in cars. Early attempts to take the road were in steam-powered vehicles such as the Grenville steam carriage. It took the development of reliable internal combustion engines fueled by petrol to produce the first popular cars. The inventor Sir Marcus constructed an early four-wheel car with a petrol-driven internal combustion engine, but Carl Benz was the first to get a patent for his vehicle, the three-wheeled Benz motor wagon. The Daimler, a motorized horse carriage, appeared shortly after. Soon more car makers emerged. The Oldsmobile Curved Dash was the world's first mass-produced car, with more than 19,000 sold. Some early cars had rather primitive features. The engine of an Arrow Johnston dog cart was started by pulling on a rope, and many cars, including the Ford Model T, had gas lamps. Built on an assembly line, the Model T made motoring affordable for the masses. The 1920s saw an explosion in car design, from the Duesenberg Model J, driven by American gangsters and movie stars, to a compact Austin Stephen. Early racing cars. As soon as cars were built in numbers, people became keen to race them. Early racing tested speeds as well as reliability, as early cars broke down a lot, but advancing technologies quickly saw racing cars develop into speed demons. Some early racing drivers turned into car builders. Italy's Vincenzo Lancia, who won the 1904 Coppa Florio race, manufactured the Lancia Tipo 55 Corsa. Across the Atlantic, the Stutz Bearcat won 25 of the 30 races it entered, while the Mercer Type 35R raceabout won 5 of its first 6 races in 1911. Racing cars remained box-shaped until after World War I, when sleeker, more rounded shapes started to emerge. In 1921, the Duesenberg 183 became the first all-American car to win a Grand Prix race in Europe. Stunning speedsters such as the Alfa Romeo 8C 2300 Monza and the Bugatti Type 35B were produced throughout the 1920s and 30s. Type 35 cars won more than 1,000 races and battled it out with German cars such as the Mercedes-Benz W125, which dominated the 1937 European Grand Prix Championship. Machine with styles. In the 1930s, some cars got slick and sleek as research revealed that the importance of airflow around the car, especially at higher speeds. Streamlining vehicles to improve performance resulted in some stylish and eye-catching designs. The line called Zephyr created a sensation at the 1936 New York Auto Show with its teardrop shape, while on the road, the Auburn Speedster roared with a 148 horsepower engine that generated a top speed of around 160 km per hour, equals to 100 miles per hour. While some sport cars stayed boxy, such as the MJTA Midget, others like the Alfa Romeo 8C 2900B Coupe were designed with sweeping, rounded body shapes. Exotic Peugeot 402 Dalmate showcased extreme streamlining with a lightweight aluminium body and an advanced gearbox. The sleek Mercedes-Benz 500k Special Roadster was packed with advanced features for its time, including electric door locks, turn indicators, hydraulic brakes, and separate suspension systems for each wheel for a comfortable ride. Vincent Finery. The 1950s saw an incredible boom in the USA, and 30 million more cars had taken it to its road by the end of the decade. Cars went from being everyday and sport to chrome-covered status symbols packed with innovative new features. Germany's first post-war luxury car, the Mercedes-Benz 300, seated 6 people and was called the Adenauer after the West German Chancellor, who fitted a writing desk inside one of his 300s. In contrast, the American Buick Roadmaster was a riot of two-tone color and chrome, including chrome engine vents. The USA had entered the jet aircraft age, on this way reflected in the design of many cars, such as the Pontiac Bonneville, with its futuristic styling and large tail fins. Some cars also grew in length. The Chrysler New York was over 5.5 meters long, while the Lincoln Capri was more than 5.8 meters long. Automatic transmission was popular in big cars such as the Chevrolet Bel Air convertible, which also had fuel injection and luxurious styling. It remains one of the most collectible cars from the 50s. Fast and faster. Racing car design developed greatly from the 1950s onwards. Engineers and designers were constantly looking for improvements to increase speed, enhance handling, and boost performance in order to be the first over the finish line. Track racing began in the 1950s with mostly front-engined racing cars, such as the Maserati 250F and the Mercedes-Benz W196, which won the Formula One championship in the 1954 and 1955. By the end of the 1950s, rear-mounted engines became all the rage. F1 and Indy cars. Sports car racing too witnessed changes. Open cockpit cars such as the Jaguar D-Type, which won the Le Mans 24 Hours Endurance Race in 1955, 1956 and 1957, were replaced by cars with a roof. The sleek Ford GT40 Mk2 finished first, second and third at Le Mans in 1966. In some parts of the world, track racing featuring modified saloon and sedan cars gained popularity. A Holden VR Commodore SS won the 1995 Australian Touring Car Championships, while the Chevrolet Monte Carlo was driven by many NASCAR racers. Fast and Furious. Modern high-speed races packed with electronics are designed and modeled on computers and tested in wind tunnels to ensure that design offers maximum performance. No expense is spared on these sleek speed machines. All successful racing cars must be fast, but different forms of racing place different demands on the vehicle. A power-packed rally car must be rugged and able to handle roads, tracks, and rough ground. The World Championship winning Volkswagen WRC Polo R can accelerate from 0 to 100 kilometers in 3.9 seconds. Cars built for endurance racing must be very reliable. In 2009, the Lola Aston Martin LMP1 raced 5,084 kilometers in 24 hours at Le Mans. Its driver, Tom Christensen, also won the race at record 9 times in the Bentley Speed 8 and in the Audi R10. Danica Patrick in a Chevrolet SS became the first woman to win pole position for NASCAR's Daytona 500. Lewis Hamilton won the World Championship with a McLaren Mercedes MP423 in 2008 and again in 2014 with a Mercedes-AMG Petronas W05. Fun in cars. Driving can be enjoyable, but some cars are more fun than others. A number of cars have been modified or designed from scratch to offer fun drive and open roads across stretches of sand or along trails and rally courses. The Willys MB Jeep could be driven just about anywhere, with more than 600,000 produced during World War II. Civilian Jeeps followed until 1986, when they were replaced by the Jeep Wrangler, which allowed drivers to switch between 2- or 4-wheel drive. Several fun cars started life as military prototypes, such as the Lamborghini LM002, an off-roader with a 4-wheel drive, air conditioning, and a roof-mounted stereo. The Leyland Mini Moke, in contrast, was a bare-bones vehicle with no frame around the driver. Dune buggies were tailor-made for beaches, while some modified cars, such as the Buggerbug, had raised bodies and strong suspension to overcome the most difficult terrains. Buggy-styled cars are still made today, such as the SEMA F16 Sport, which has plastic body panels and a convertible roof for rainy days. Crazy cars. Think all cars are simple, straightforward boxes on wheel? Think again. Over the years, designers and engineers have let their imaginations run riot, and some outrageous and surprising designs have left the drawing board and turned into reality. Some of these wacky machines, such as the Brooks one, which hissed hot water and steam out of its beak, were kicked once off built for eccentrics or for movies such as the Batmobile Tumbler. The Flatmobile, however, was made to break records. At just 48.2 centimeters tall, it is the lowest street-legal car in the world. Flying cars are among the craziest of all, but the Aerocar and Terrafuga transition did work, using folding wings and a pusher propeller at the rear to thrust the car forward. The Elliott Helicar couldn't fly but was pushed into action by an aircraft propeller and could reach speeds of up to 170 km per hour. Some strange-looking cars are experiments to test out ideas, such as the solar-powered Honda Solar Emilia 3 or the Toyota FV2, whose body can change color to reflect the driver's mood. Family transport. A family car needs to be economical and have space for 4 to 5 people, as well as for plenty of storage. Many manufacturers work hard to build affordable cars that have the perfect balance of space, performance, and price. Family cars in the 1960s, such as the Oldsmobile Starfire, were often based on a three-box design with an engine compartment, passenger cabin, and a large boot. The Hillman Imp changed things by putting the engine in the rear, while hatchbacks, such as Aston Martin 1750, came with a sloping rear door to offer more versatile storage. The affordable Morris Marina was built to compete with a highly popular Ford Cortina, which was bought by more than 2 million customers, mostly in the UK. Sleeker family cars appeared from the 1970s with more hatchbacks such as the Fiat Strada Ritmo and the Volkswagen Golf GTI, which launched a new class of cars, the hot hatch. These offered a hatchback design with a faster, sportier output than most family cars. More than 29 million Golfs have been built to date. Outdoor warriors. Most cars transmit power from their engine to either the front or rear wheels, but not four-wheel drives. Known as 4x4S, these cars direct power to all four wheels, offering better grip on slippery roads and tricky off-road conditions. In 1903, the Spiker 60 HP used the first four-wheel drive on a petrol-fueled car. However, only military and special-purpose off-roads 4x4S, such as Land Rovers, were built in large numbers until the 1960s and 1970s. The Subaru Leon Estate was one of the first everyday 4x4S. It was designed mainly for driving in all conditions, with some light off-road action. In the 1980s, rallies became dominated by fast, rugged 4x4 such as the Lancia Delta Integral and the Aldio Sport Quattro, which won many World Rally Championship titles between them. By then, the first sports utility vehicles, SUVs, had emerged. These rugged cars, such as the Daihatsu Sporttrack and Volvo XC90, had high-set bodies for better ground clearance over bumpy roads. The powerful Hummer H3 can drive through water up to 60 centimeters or 24 inches deep. Convertible and sport cars. Fast to accelerate and quick to brake, sport cars are built to thrill. Mostly two-seaters, they offer higher performance and sharper handling than everyday cars. Convertibles have a folding roof for open-top driving on sunny days. There is no mistaking the love for sport cars, old and new. The first generation of Chevrolet Corvettes were built in 1953, and the seventh generation came out in 2014. Over 820,000 high-performance Porsche 911s have been built, while Ford Mustang fastbacks were amongst the 2 million Mustangs sold in the first 2 years of production. Many Mustangs in the late 1960s and 1970s were fitted with large V8 engines to offer the brute force provided by fellow muscle cars, such as the Pontiac Trans Am. Sports cars fitted with smaller engines, even if not as powerful and fast, also proved fun to drive due to their light weight. The Mazda MX-5 weighed 890 kilograms, while the Lotus Elise tipped the scale at just 725 kilograms. The popular soft-top MGB convertible sold 500,000 models in the UK alone. Mini Motos. Small is beautiful when you need a car to dodge and wave through narrow city streets and to squeeze into the smallest parking spaces. Light in weight and easy on the pocket, their small engines make these mini motors cheap to run. Partly inspired by the success of a Volkswagen Beetle, a wave of tiny cars hit the road in the 1950s and 1960s. The compact Measurement Kia 200 could accommodate only a driver and one passenger, while the egg-shaped BMW Isetta 300 had two front wheels placed close together, no bonnet, and motorcycle engine tucked behind the seat. Many three-wheeled cars, such as the Reliant Robin and the Frisky Family 3, could be driven on a motorcycle license. While the Frisky sold only in hundreds, The sales of a hugely popular Austin Mini 7 reached more than 4 million by 1976. Today, many cars such as the Smart City Coupe and the Tata Nano are popular in crowded cities. However, all of them still dwarf the POP 50, the world's smallest car, which weighs a mere 59 kilograms. Supercars. Some cars are just too hot to handle. The high-performance sports cars, known as supercars, are phenomenally fast and often very expensive. Handcrafted in small numbers, they offer the last word in speed and handling. The first supercar emerged in the 1960s. High-performance cars, such as the Lamborghini Miura, had sleek lines, powerful engines, and were built low to the ground. Miura's successor, the Countach LP400, was just 1.1 meter tall. Some supercars were made of high-tech materials to keep their weight down, with a 470 kg Caparo T1 being the lightest. The heavier supercars compensate with incredibly powerful engines. The Hennessey Venom GT can deliver up to 1,244 horsepower, which is 10 times the power of a hatchback. The Noble's M600's twin turbochargers give it a top speed of 362 km per hour, while the McLaren F1 LM can hit 370 km per hour. Some supercars feature the latest in racing car technology, such as the Mercedes McLaren SLR 722S, which has fly-by-wire brakes. Luxury rides. The last word on comfort, luxury cars are often packed with the most advanced driving and passenger features. These grand, super expensive cars offer a quiet, cushioned ride for the rich, the powerful, and the famous. Celebrities and dignitaries did not have to shut the doors of a Mercedes-Benz 600. This 2.6-ton car did it for them. Owners ranged from the Pope and presidents of many countries to the rock and roll legend Elvis Presley. In communist Soviet Union, the 5.6-meter-long 7-seater gas Chaika was the car of choice for politicians, while the stately Daimler DS 420 was used by the British, Swedish, and Danish royal families. The car was based on the Jaguar Mark X, which came with a wood-paneled interior, plenty of legroom, and fold-down picnic tables. Some of the Rolls-Royce Silver Cloud 3s had cocktail bars and televisions, while the Lincoln Continental convertible turned heads with its convertible four-door design. The statue of a hood of a Rolls-Royce Phantom drophead sinks into a bond when the car is locked up. Record breakers. Cars have always been valued for their speed. Some people have built one of the fastest cars in an attempt to break land speed records, while car manufacturers have competed to produce the fastest production cars. The Blitz-Benz was the first car with an internal combustion engine to break the 200-kilometer barrier. In 1924, the DeLage V12 held the land speed record for 6 days before it was broken by the Fiat Mephistopheles with a bomber aircraft engine. The Bluebird CN7, also with an aircraft engine, was the last record-breaking car with wheels driven directly by the engine. Record breakers since then, such as the current holder, the Bloodhound SSC, using a Jaguar car engine, a jet engine, and a rocket engine, set a new record at supersonic speeds of 1,690 km per hour. The Mercedes-Benz 300 SL set a record for fastest production car in 1955, which was broken by the Ferrari 365 GTB4. The Bugatti Chiron is the current fastest production car. And that's it for History of the Cars. If you liked it and you want to see more, then you're welcome to click that subscribe button, then click that notification and hit personal all, and you'll see more. And for now,